watch those legs get chopped down, you have to have the ability to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have that ability to throw the ball, why do I need you as a quarterback?
That's true.
Cap is a 59% career thrower.
Yeah, it's not great at all.
Blake Bortles, 58%. Blaine Gabbert is 56.
Blaine is trash. Bortles is he's
trash.
Young. Bortles is young. I mean,
Garbage.
They took a high pick on him, so we don't know. Like, the jury's out on Bortles.
From what I found out, subpar quarterback average 60%.
Yeah, exactly.
Cap is throwing 59 for his career.
Yeah. Like you don't want to be a quarterback under. Like, Bortles got one more season before he's in the same boat as Kaepernick. But like you said, a borderline basic quarterback, if you below 60, your time is limited as well.
But I mean, all of a sudden it's get to a point where, despite his flaws with his mechanics and his inability to stay accurate, thank you for turning that.
Come on, Drake.
That was Drake. That's what it was.
Yeah, okay.
There seems to be another reason why Cap is not signed right now, and it has to do with his political stance. If you guys are not familiar with the situation, which you should be if you know who Colin Kaepernick is, he decided not to stand during the national anthem last year, which caused a uproar and all kind of criticism and backlash coming towards his way. And now you have people such as NFL executives kind of turning around and taking an anger out on Cap because of that. And I have some stuff coming up that justifies that later on in the podcast. But do you think that played any type of role of why Kaepernick is not signed today?
I think it does a tad bit. But again, if he could throw the ball, if he completed 67% of his passes and threw for, I don't know how many yards are great for a quarterback or whatever, he'd be on a team. But like you're saying, we all saw him last year, and he was okay. But if you're okay,
I thought it was horrible.
I mean, if you really look at his stats, they weren't that terrible.
To his defense, that team was gutted.
Yeah, it was a trash team.
That was not the same team from his Super Bowl playing years.
No, of course not. And
I mean, there was no type of options at running back, receiver. I think they had, Smith, who went to Philly. Yeah. But he wasn't the best number one receiving option.
And I mean, like you're saying, like when he was doing good, he had a lot of help around him. He had Frank Gore and just receivers everywhere, and the defense was great. And Harbaugh was a great coach, and it's like he's a player that needs a lot around him to be successful. And again, I just can't be like he's being blackballed when Greg Hardy got a chance. And you can't tell me they're blackballing him because he wouldn't stand for a national anthem. But the Dallas Cowboys said, he beats women and throws them on guns, we'll give him a chance. If in the NFL, if you can play, you'll be on a roster. And I just think right now,
Ray Rice never got a shot
because he couldn't play, and you know it.
You think his
he
career
was
was
He was a 30-something. Of course, you're a 30-something-year-old running back. You're dead. Adrian Peterson's not on the team right now.
AP is not signed. Supposedly he's asking for a high number in his contract, but it mostly has to do with his age.
30-year-old running backs. You're not very useful in this league.
And you know what doesn't help?
What?
Ezekiel Elliott.
You can draft
a rookie running back that's setting records. Open up the eyes of these NFL executives and be like, why do I need this old guy when I can draft me a young guy, pay him $25 an hour, and have the same results?
Give me exactly what you're going to give me.
One thing I did find strange with this Kaepernick situation and the blackballing is we had the president of the United States come out and say this.
And you know, Your San Francisco quarterback, I'm sure nobody ever heard of him. I'm just reporting the news. There was an article today. I love to report the news, and then they said I made a mistake, right? I said, no, the people reporting the news made a mistake if it's wrong. But there was an article today, it was reported, that NFL owners don't want to pick him up because they don't want to get a nasty tweet from Donald Trump. Do you believe that? I just saw that. I said, if I remember that one, I'm going to report it to the people of Kentucky. Because they like it when people actually stand for the American flag, right?
Yeah, and it was that. Shannon Sharp had a very opinionated response. It was two of them. I'm trying to look for the other one. But before we get into what Shannon Sharp had to say, Josh.
Mr. President, no one cares about your tweets, okay? So I just want you in the White House and working on things and talking about things that are relevant to the American people. No one cares about you talking about Colin Kaepernick, okay? And what is this article? What do you mean? Like, did you see it on the onion.com and you just think because it's in an article style format that it's true? Like, what's wrong with you, sir?
Everything he reads is true.
Yeah, it's in an article style and it's on the onion.com. It's real news to me.
Unless it's on CNN.
CNN is fake news. CNN is definitely fake news. But Mr. President, stop. Somebody please make him put his phone down and stop tweeting. And like, why are you even worried about this?
But how does... Look how this affects Colin Kaepernick, because you have the NFL owners who, the majority of them voted for Donald Trump.
Probably.
I mean, that's probably
a fact.
True. That's true. The majority of them did vote for Donald Trump.
Right. I understand.
And then you have teams like the New York Jets, who is in dire need of a quarterback. But their NFL owner was one of the biggest Trump supporters there was. So you can pretty much eliminate Cap from going to the Jets based on his relationship with Trump. But, so when you have the POTUS that comes out and make a statement that NFL owners are scared because he's going to tweet about them, whatever.
No, not a tweet.
Hell that's supposed to mean.
Oh, God, he's going to tweet about it.
How does Cap how do you get around that? Now you have the POTUS of the United States.
Normal-minded people would pay that no mind. Like you said, it may eliminate him from one job, which is the New York Jets, but who the hell wants to be a Jet right now? You know? I don't want to be a quarterback. Nobody ever wanted that job right now. They're in rebuild mode. And again, he's not a starting quarterback. So the Jets, who are in dire need of a starting quarterback, probably wouldn't even look at him. You know, the teams, like, I can eliminate... He could go to Carolina or Buffalo. They already have running quarterbacks. I mean, really with Carolina, we don't really need him because we got Joe Webb. He's kind of a runner. Buffalo, they just lost, I think Manuel went to the Raiders or something like that. One of them. One of their backups, Emmanuel went to the Raiders or whatever. So they need a backup to, what's his face? The starter. Michael Vick's cousin, the Buffalo Bills. He looks like Michael Vick's cousin. I don't know. Tyrod Taylor, yes. He went to Virginia Tech. I call him Michael Vick's cousin. Yes, Tyrod Taylor. That's the only spot that I can logically see Colin Kaepernick going to.
That's the other thing that plays
holding
a factor. To. There's a lot of NFL teams that don't need a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
LA maybe. I don't know if they've given up on their quarterback situation already. He looked pretty bad last year. Arizona could use a backup, but definitely not a starter. Chicago already has a quarterback in place.
And it's like, They don't run a style that you don't get a quarterback, a number 2.
Maybe.
Yeah, you don't get a number 2 and then have to switch your whole offense around for it. You get a number 2 that can run what your number 1 runs. Like he's a running style kind of quick, get the ball out, run around kind of quarterback. And it wouldn't make no sense for him to go to, the Atlanta Falcons and back up Matty Ice. That doesn't make any sense.
Houston needs a quarterback at this particular time, but
They getting Tony Romo. Stop. You know that. Stop it. They're getting Tony Romo.
Maybe.
Maybe they got rid of that kid.
Whenever Jerry gives him his freedom papers. Right now, Tony Romo is a Cowboy slave for the rest of his life.
He's going to Houston.
But
trust me.
Another thing that just threw me off. I want to get into what Shannon Sharp had to say.
Reaction to the POTUS.
What is the name of him? It's Undisputed.
Yeah,
I wanted to give them credibility. So Shannon Sharp weighed in on the cap situation, on if he was being blackballed or not. And I thought it was like really, really well put.
Wow. From Shannon Sharp? Are you sure?
I have 2 sound bites from Shannon Sharp that I thought was very, very well put. Gives us something to discuss.
I'm not going to believe it until I hear it.
Shannon Sharp? I couldn't believe it either. I was shocked.
I don't believe it. You're going to play the sound bite. I don't believe this.
Let's play the sound bite.
And I read Mike Freeman's article where he said one general manager said there's a lot of general managers and the possible owners hate Colin Kaepernick for what he did. You hate Colin Kaepernick for what he did, but do you hate why he did it, the cause that led him to do it? It's like I'm being upset at the man for being sick, but I'm not mad at the disease that caused his sickness. Now, Colin Kaepernick took $1 million out of his own pocket to give to a cause that he felt would help his cause. He and his foundation got Turkish Airways or Turkish Airlines to donate the 747, a jumbo jet. They're going to deliver 60,000 pounds of food and water for a famine that's going on in Somalia. But you hate what he's done. But Colin Kaepernick knew this was going to be the case, because I believe that protest should be uncomfortable. It should shock the very people that you're trying to get in touch with. By doing that, you also saying I'm willing to accept any ramifications, backlash that comes with my protest. Muhammad Ali says I'm willing to give up 3 years of my prime fighting career because I'm so opposed to the Vietnam War. I'll take whatever comes along with it. So Colin Kaepernick, although I empathize with your position and I understand it is frustrating, you should be willing to accept that you might not ever play again. Because when you have a protest, if you're not willing to lose something financially or your life, why are you protesting to begin with? So,
might not ever play again, he says. Now, if you look at what's stacked up against Cap, I say his inability to throw accurate, which is a main factor with not being signed right now to a starting role.
Yeah.
You have the president of the United States telling owners that he's going to do some stupid crap to them if they sign Cap. You have a lot of general managers that's still pissed off at the fact of what he did. With all those stacked together, do you think Cap will even get an opportunity?
I'll put it like this here. You know, Michael Vick, when he went into the dog thing,
which was the worst.
Hated him.
The
owners hated him. The owners had dogs hated him. Everyone hated Michael Vick. But you know what? When he came out of jail and he still wearing a 4.340 and he still had that rocket arm, someone had it. If this was 2012 Kaepernick, and I appreciate everything Cap's done. I'm not hating on Cap or, saying he shouldn't have did it. Like Shannon Sharp said, when you do a protest and you stand up for something, you should expect to lose something as well, because it's supposed to be uncomfortable and it's supposed to get people's attention. But again, if this was 2012 Colin Kaepernick, he'd be on a team right now. Those owners that say they hate him would be like, okay, I hate him, but just go ahead and give him the money that he wants.
Elephant in the room.
That's it.
Elephant in the room.